Law enforcement officers are never off duty. They are dedicated public servants who are sworn to protect public safety at any time and place that the peace is threatened. They need all the help that they can get. Barbara Boxer. Ottumwa Radio was invited for a couple ride-alongs with Wapello County Sheriff's Department to better understand the risks, rewards, and responsibilities of the day-to-day life of a deputy. My first ride-along of the week was 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. with Deputy Aaron McConnell.
So when we come on,
the first of his responsibilities that he made me aware of was the paperwork, and boy, was there a lot of it. The Sheriff's Department is responsible for serving paperwork, whether that be warrants or court appearances, and even some repossessions. While still in the office, we met with one of the reserve deputies, who explained that although he loves the job he does, even though it is volunteer-based, staff in the reserves, as well as the rest of the department, is slim. McConnell made sure I was aware and felt safe with the fact that he would be the only deputy for a while. After the night's plans were laid out and we had a clear idea of where we were going and what we were doing, we were off. Throughout the next 2 hours of serving papers, we also had to pull over a few people for driving with restrictions or with one of their lights missing. But overall, people were glad to be notified of the issue, rather than to be arrested or to have an accident happen because of the situation. After one such incident by the south side of the Market Street Bridge, Deputy McConnell said the following: "This is why I do it. For nice people like that. She genuinely didn't know her light was out and was grateful for my help. I just want to help good, hard-working people go on living their lives as safely as possible." From then on, it was one corner of Wapello County to the other. We drove the back roads and the county roads from the Eldon Agency area all the way over to Blakesburg and Four Corners. Covering the expanse of land and territory and back roads really made me come to face Deputy McConnell's comment from earlier. 1 to 2 deputies with maybe a reserve deputy for around 436 square miles. I told McConnell how shocked I was to learn that such limited manpower was responsible for so much. He responded by saying that it hurts to be so far from an emergency that needs your help and have to tell them to do the best they can, that you'll be there when you can. Another stop back at the station was to serve papers. These went to Ottumwa police officers who had to go to court for cases they were a part of.
but you quickly realize you can run. But
Yeah, I thought about it.
could catch up to you.
We're just gonna hide in the armory.
When Deputy McConnell responded to a situation at Hy-Vee about a warrant, it was made clear how much work the Sheriff's Department really puts in.
I checked my night on Greg's wall as well.
The end of my overnight shift with McConnell was capped with an arrest. An individual was taken to overnight holding when he saw them in the Darren's towing lot. After checking licenses, every person in the vehicle was prohibited to drive. Therefore, the driver had to be taken in overnight. While at the jail, I was given entry into what I like to call the command center. This is where dispatch is, and they do all their business with multiple monitors and a lot of typing. And this leads us into 2 days later. Now it was time for my 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. shift with Deputy Todd Evans. In the beginning, he covered a lot of the same stuff that McConnell did, but then I was in for a bit of a twist because he had to give a deposition. This is his account to a lawyer of a situation, crime, or case that had happened. But before he could do that, a man came into the sheriff's office to sign custody papers. This meant we also got to help facilitate a custody exchange on the department's premises. When we were about to leave the building, we got the news that would tie my first day with this day. A couple other deputies were going to execute a search warrant on a trailer at Darren's Towing. This had been where the man from the previous night was trying to go. With suspicions that he took part in a separate case, they had to go search for specific items. And I can tell you, it was not easy. Unfortunately, however, little was found. But the men did discuss their off hours a bit. How, when one is in trouble, they're all in trouble. They reach out and they help each other as much as they can. It didn't take long to understand that these deputies are like a family. After explaining the family atmosphere, Deputy Evans said the following: "We do this because we care. We want to help and be staffed enough to do our best. When we are staffed and trained well, then we are at the best capacity to protect and serve the community." Throughout the rest of the shift, Deputy Evans explained quite a lot to me. The difference between robbery and burglary, and a lot of other things. What I learned and what I took away, though, was something that we all hear and say, but never really think about. We don't know what other people are doing. We don't know what they're thinking. We don't know how hard their lives are or what they do. We just know what we see and what impacts us. And the same can be said for the public about the police and the sheriff's department. I learned that their lives aren't just clock in, catch the bad guys, be a hero, and go home. They risk their safety and their friends' safety to keep everyone else safe, but they also have to do the small stuff that sometimes, in the bigger picture, is quite big. Investigations, paperwork, follow-ups. Each member of the department has quite a lot on their plate at any time and any given day. So I want to use this time to say thank you to them for letting me take part in this experience and for showing me and Wapello County what it takes to be a public servant. So from me to you, thank you for everything and anything you do. The duties of an officer are the safety, honor, and welfare of your country first, the honor, welfare, and comfort of the men of your command second, and the officer's own ease, comfort, and safety last. George S. Patton. For Ottumwa Radio, I'm Erin Fraser.